What's up everybody, welcome back to Belfort Street. My name is Julian and today we are going to make pasta with pesto. More specifically, we're going to make this pasta type called Trofie. It originates from northern Italy, from the region of Liguria. And it is no wonder that it pairs very well with Pesto Genovese. Pesto Genovese originating from the city of Genova. Same region, Liguria, northern Italy. Yeah, we're going to make a more or less classic green pesto, which features this beautiful fresh basil. So fragrant. Some pine nuts. Some pecorino cheese, some parmesan cheese, bit of garlic, and of course extra virgin olive oil, very good quality olive oil. Commonly this pasta is often served not only just mixed with pesto, but also we are going to include some organic green beans, and this is just a plain old potato that is left from yesterday's meal, and this we are also going to include in the dish. Lange Rede, kurzer Sinn, as we say in German, which means long speech, no sense behind it. Yeah, enough with the talking, let's get to the cooking. Okay, with this all said and done, first up we're gonna... So why don't you come along with me and let's go cook it.
First up, we are going to take care of our potato. For this part, I'm using a leftover potato from a meal that I cooked yesterday, because freshly cooked potatoes do not work that well here, since they still contain a lot of moisture and they won't get as nice and crispy when we are going to fry them. More traditionally, in this dish, potatoes are simply cooked in the same pot like the pasta, but I think if you fry them separately, they develop a better flavor and a nicer, less mushy texture. To prepare the potato, I'm just gonna slice it in half and then cut it into cubes. And then I'm apparently deciding that the cubes are too big and need some more cutting done. So I ended up with about this size right here. In a pan on medium-high heat, I'm going to pour in a good amount of oil. Since I want to fry the potatoes at a slightly higher temperature, and because it would be kind of a waste to use good quality olive oil for this, I used neutrally flavored canola oil. When the oil is up to temperature, put the potatoes in the pan, give them a stir and fry until they develop a golden brown color. This may take a little while depending on the temperature of your oil. When the potatoes get nice and crispy around the edges, give them a stir and fry until most of the pieces have browned. Then switch off the heat, take the potatoes out of the pan and put them on a paper towel lined plate or tray, then set aside. For the
Pesto Genovese,
we are first going to roast some pine nuts. Since there are diverging viewpoints on if you should roast them or not, I decided to roast half of them and leave the other half raw. The roasting will give them a deeper nutty flavor, whereas if you leave them raw, they will introduce a more creamy flavor to the dish. For this, we are going to put the pine nuts in a dry pan over medium heat and constantly watch them as to make sure they don't burn, which totally never happened to me. When they turn golden brown, immediately take them out of the pan and set aside. When it comes to the cheeses for the pesto, I'm going to use this box grater here, and I think the finest grades make the most sense for this application. I'm going to use half
Pecorino Romano,
and half
Parmigiano Reggiano,
which you could also substitute for
Grana Padano.
Grate both cheeses finely and set aside. Then I'm going to peel some garlic, and for my personal taste you don't need to use too much for
Pesto Genovese,
as the flavor can easily become overwhelming. So that's why for one portion I'm only going to use about a quarter of 1 clove of garlic. Put the garlic in a pestle and mortar, and to that add some coarse sea salt and black pepper. These two ingredients will act as an abrasive and will help to grind down the other ingredients that we are going to add. At this point, if you do not have a pestle and mortar, or you do not wish to burn any extra calories, you can also use a food processor. Just put all the ingredients inside and pulse until smooth. Now smash and grind the garlic until it forms a fine paste, and this should be done at the beginning in order to avoid any large pieces of garlic being left over in the pesto. Then add the pine nuts and smash until smooth. Next, I'm going to add in the basil leaves, which I am just roughly tearing apart with my hands. Give it a good grind until the leaves have broken down and released their fantastic essential oils. After that, Add the cheeses and mix them in with a few rounds of grinding before adding the olive oil. Make sure everything is well combined and give it a try and see if there is any need for seasoning to be added. For the green beans, we are going to remove this top bit here and then cut them lengthwise into strips roughly the same size as our pasta. Then we are going to add a good amount of salt to a pot with boiling water and get our Trofie pasta. Regarding the cooking time, we will just do as instructed on the package since we do not have a sauce to finish cooking our pasta in this time. It says 9 minutes and that's what we're going to do. Like I said in the beginning, the pasta has this long thin spiral shape and it looks almost like a thin croissant. Off into the water they go, and when they are about 2 minutes away from being done, we are going to add our green beans straight into the pot with the pasta. After the 2 minutes are up, we are going to drain our pasta and beans and put them in a large bowl. To that, we are going to add our fried potato cubes and a couple of good spoonfuls of our
Pesto Genovese.
Stir it all together until the sauce has nicely coated all the ingredients, then spoon into a plate, sprinkle with a bit of additional
Parmigiano Reggiano.
and garnish with some fresh basil. And that's it.
Andiamo mangiare.
Okay guys, this is it. It's done. It's here. It's right in front of me. I'm going to dig in. First of all, it smells crazily delicious. Try how it tastes. Immediately you get that fresh basil and garlic aroma. Crunchy beans, the crispy fried potatoes, very comforting. You know, there's some things you can buy pre-made or in a can, and I wouldn't necessarily say they're bad. They're okay to eat. But pesto is one of those things. It's completely different. It's a game changer if you make this fresh. It is so much more fragrant. It is so much more flavor than that stuff you can buy in a jar. There's worlds between. Again, simple ingredients, prepared well. This is definitely a winner. Good thing is now that we've made the pesto, and for this I only used maybe half of the amount I made. So you can put it on a piece of grilled meat or grilled fish. You can put it on a sandwich or even a burger if you want. You can even throw it into a tomato salad. What's also very nice, if you use pesto to make some sort of soup, like let's say a tomato soup, you can drizzle a little bit on top after you served it into a bowl.
Need to try it.
You listen? Okay guys, so this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, then leave it a like, write something in the comments if you want. Let me know if you made this dish at home. I would be really interested in that. And also let me know in the comments what would you want me to do in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to finish this and see you next time. Ciao ciao.